Thanks for joining me. I'm Steve from C&S Corvettes in Sarasota, Florida. Welcome to our Friday podcast. We're going to address a couple of problems today that people have asked me about, and we'll get into that in just a minute. But for right now, I just want to thank you for being here. Before we get started, please take a moment of your time and and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, and you can click on the bell icon to be notified of future content as it comes out. If you do that now, that'd help us a lot. Now, let's get on to addressing the problems people have asked us about. Here is our display door. One of the problems that is brought up most often is the power window clunking as it goes up and down. There's a number of different reasons for that, and we're going to address a few of them here. Can't do all of them right now, because it's fairly time consuming. But let's go over the most common. We've got the door skin off of this so you can see the works, what moves, what doesn't move, and you'll understand then, make it easier to understand, what the problems are. First one, most common one, is the screws that hold your inside door pull handle in place. When they get replaced, people use whatever screw they can find, and sometimes they're just way too long. And as that screw goes through the handle, through the inner door panel, it comes out right in here by the regulator mechanism. We've got this rigged up so we can make the window go up and down here today. And what happens is, as it goes up, you can see the mechanism, and we'll zoom in a minute to show you the screw. It can hit that screw or that screw. And as it passes the screw, it goes clunk, clunk. It may not pass the screw if the screw's big enough, which means it'll go up to there and stop. So first and simplest thing to do, take the screws out of the inner door handle. Now this is a 77 and back door. 78 to 82 is different. We'll address that one the next time. But this is the easiest to show you right now. So those screws are one of the big problems. Thought you might enjoy seeing this. This is some of the screws we have taken out of customers' door handles to solve the very problems we're talking about. We see everything from drywall screws to concrete screws, Tapcons. The problem with these two is once they're put in those holes, they enlarge the holes because they're much, much too big around. The right screws then don't fit. So that has to be addressed before you put your door panel back together. But this is stuff people have actually used and then wonder why their stuff doesn't work. There's the answer. Okay, here's your inner door handle. Of course, door panel's removed. The screws, one goes in here, one goes in down here from the bottom, that hold that in place. That's the screws we're talking about that are usually so often too long. Once you have put a screw in there that is too long and or too fat, and you enlarge the hole, when you put the right screws back in it, here's what happens. Because the hole is enlarged. That's why you have to fix the hole in the door first. It can be done by kind of hammering it closed. You can use a larger screw, not as long, of course, larger in diameter, and you can get by with that. But in the future, if you want to put the right stuff in it, it won't work once you've enlarged it. So you have to get into this piece of metal right here and flatten it out so that it will take the correct size screw. Another of the problems is these little rollers that go inside these tracks. With age, they're plastic and they break. They're little wheels. Once they don't turn properly anymore, that can be your clunk. So you have to make sure that the guides, the rollers, the wheels, whatever you want to call them on the regulator, are in good condition. You want to make sure that these runs that the wheel rides in are free of dirt and debris. They do have grease in them, light grease, but over the years they collect debris and junk just from being on a car. You can clean that grease out. You can put in a little bit of fresh grease. It'll help a lot. Some of the other issues are if If the window stop is too low, it allows the window to go down too far. Oops, like instead of stopping there, if it goes too far, it'll go beyond this little trim piece and under it. So when you go back up, it catches the edge and it has to go ka-chunk to go. That's another common problem. Okay, here's a power window regulator. This is a reproduction, really good quality piece. We use a lot of them here in the shop. We sell a lot of them. This is the root of many of the problems. Let me show you a few of the pieces, components of this item. And here's what we've got. This is the fan gear. And you can see all the little teeth on it. Those teeth wear off, your window doesn't go up and down, or it skips. Really, really common problem. The little wheels or rollers that I was talking about earlier, that's these guys. They break, they get to where they don't turn anymore. They're a problem. This unit comes ready to install. If you decide to use one of these, I want to say this for everybody's safety now, and there's a warning right here on it. This bolt in place is very important. It has to stay there till you install the motor, because this big spring right here will cut your fingers off if you get them in the wrong place. When the motor's in place, it stops that spring from allowing anything to rotate. So please heed that bolt is very, very important. One other item, this little tab here, this goes to, when it's installed in the car, on your door panel is an inspection panel. There's a hole in it, and this bolt goes through that panel into here, and it secures the bottom of this. Without it, when the motor reaches its top extension or lower extension, it torques, which makes it do one of these, one way or the other. It changes the dynamics of it, and it doesn't work well. So these tabs are known for breaking off. If you don't have it, you need one of these. The earlier cars didn't have that. The reason they put it on is because there were a lot of complaints. So if you have an earlier car, you replace it with one of these, you're going to solve that particular problem. Okay, that's it for the regulator. At least now you see what we're talking about. Well, thanks for joining us today for our video on this particular problem. Thanks for watching all the way through to the end here. Please like, subscribe, and it'll help us a lot. Click the bell icon so you're notified again in the future. Again, thanks for joining me.